in a quiet, distant part of the Milky Way, far beyond the familiar stars visible from Earth. The Valorians, a gentle and wise alien species, faced an emergency unlike any they had ever seen. Their star system, a delicate arrangement of planets, orbiting a brilliant sun, was beginning to unravel due to mysterious cosmic forces beyond their control. The star itself flickered unpredictably, casting dangerous waves of energy that threatened the very fabric of their world. For centuries, the Valorians had lived in harmony with their environment, relying on technology that blended seamlessly with nature. Yet now, no matter what they tried, their efforts to stabilize their star and protect their planets were failing. The situation grew worse by the day, and desperation filled the hearts of the Valorian leaders. In a moment that marked a turning point for their civilization, they made a bold decision to reach out to humanity. Though the Valorians had long observed Earth and its inhabitants with curiosity and admiration, they never imagined they would have to ask for help. When their message arrived on Earth, encoded in a form designed to show peaceful intentions and humility, it instantly caught the attention of the United Space Coalition, Earth's united front for interstellar diplomacy and exploration. The message was simple but urgent. We need help. Our star is dying, and our technology is not enough. Please, humanity, aid us in saving our home. The world paused. For decades, humanity had been pushing the boundaries of space travel and scientific discovery, earning a reputation as determined problem solvers who thrived in difficult situations. Yet this request was unlike any they had faced before. The stakes were enormous: help the Valorians save their star system or watch an entire civilization fade into darkness. In response, the USC assembled a team of the best scientists, engineers, and diplomats. Plans for a rescue fleet took shape quickly, the Earth's nations putting aside old differences to support this mission of hope. However, as the launch date drew near, voices of doubt began to rise. Could humans truly manage such a delicate, unprecedented challenge? The Valorians' technology and way of life were unlike anything Earth had encountered, and some experts feared human enthusiasm might do more harm than good. Others argued that humanity's unique creativity and courage made them the only species capable of finding solutions beyond conventional thinking. News outlets around the globe buzzed with speculation and excitement. Families gathered around screens to watch the preparations. Governments held urgent meetings to ensure the mission's success and safety. The air was thick with anticipation and a growing sense of responsibility. Meanwhile, the Valorian leaders watched from their distant world, hopeful but cautious. They knew the humans were capable of great achievements, but also of mistakes born from overconfidence. The coming days would test not only humanity's skills, but their ability to listen, learn, and respect an alien culture in crisis. Finally, the day arrived. The human rescue fleet, shining with the promise of hope and determination, lifted off from Earth's spaceports. As the ships disappeared into the vast blackness of space, millions held their breath, united by a shared hope that humans could rise to this extraordinary challenge. The mission was more than a test of technology. It was a chance for two very different worlds to come together in friendship and mutual respect. In the silent expanse between stars, the humans moved forward, carrying the hopes of Earth and the trust of the Valorians on their shoulders, ready to face whatever the universe would throw at them. The story of this mission was just beginning, and the outcome was still unknown. But one thing was clear: humanity's journey to save an alien star system was about to change everything, far beyond the familiar stars that twinkle in Earth's night sky. Nestled quietly in a remote corner of the vast Milky Way galaxy, the Valorians lived a peaceful existence. This alien species, known for their calm wisdom and gentle nature, had thrived for generations in harmony with their star system. Their world was built on balance, with advanced but subtle technology that worked with nature rather than against it. But now, their home was facing a crisis unlike any before. A strange and powerful cosmic phenomenon was causing their sun to behave unpredictably, flickering in intensity and sending dangerous bursts of energy through space. These bursts threatened to tear apart the delicate orbits of the Valorians, planets, and disrupt the natural order that had sustained their civilization for centuries. Despite all their efforts, The Valorians' own science and technology were no longer enough to stop the damage. In quiet council chambers, illuminated by soft, glowing light, Valorian leaders debated what to do. Their people watched with growing fear as their brightest minds worked tirelessly, but with little hope of success. Finally, in a move that was both desperate and hopeful, they sent a message beyond their stars. Reaching out across the void to a species they had long observed, from afar humanity, the message was carefully crafted, carrying respect and humility, but also an urgent plea for help. It traveled across light years of space to Earth, where it was received by the United Space Coalition, a global alliance formed to represent humanity's growing presence in space. The world was stunned by the Valorians' request. Never before had an alien civilization asked humans for aid on such a dire matter. The message was clear. Our star system is failing. We cannot save ourselves. Please help us. The plea sparked a wave of excitement and concern that spread quickly through governments, scientific communities, and the public. For years, humanity had been making remarkable progress in space exploration and technology, developing new methods to travel farther and understand more. Yet this mission was unlike any before it. It was not just about discovery or defense, but about saving an entire civilization from extinction. The USC immediately sprang into action, assembling teams of top scientists, engineers, diplomats, and explorers from around the world. They worked day and night to design a rescue fleet that could carry advanced equipment and expertise capable of tackling the Valorian star's strange behavior. The task was immense. It required not only technical skill, but also great care and diplomacy, since the Valorians' culture was vastly different from Earth's. On Earth, public opinion was divided. Many were inspired by the chance to make first contact in such a meaningful way, to be heroes on a galactic scale. News broadcasts showed footage of spacecraft being prepared for launch, scientists explaining their work, and leaders making speeches. About humanity's responsibility to help others, yet some voices raised concerns. Skeptics questioned whether humans truly understood the complexity of the Valorian crisis. Others warned against rushing into an unknown situation without fully grasping the risks. They feared that human impatience or lack of understanding might cause unintended harm, turning what should be a rescue mission into a disaster. Despite these doubts, the majority hoped for success, buoyed by the growing sense that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars as a force for good. As days passed, the tension on Earth grew palpable. Families gathered around screens to watch live updates. Scientists shared their hopes and worries, and officials coordinated every detail of the mission. The world seemed to hold its breath, united by the uncertainty of what was to come. Meanwhile, the Valorians on their homeworld followed the unfolding events with equal anticipation. They had sent their message in trust, and now they waited, watching the human response unfold across the dark skies of space. Would these distant strangers truly understand the gravity of their plight? Would they respect the Valorian way of life, while trying to help, and above all, would they succeed in stopping the slow collapse of their star system? When the day of departure finally arrived, it was marked by both celebration and solemnity. The human rescue fleet, a collection of gleaming ships filled with the best minds and equipment humanity could offer, launched from Earth's spaceports amid cheers and hopeful prayers. As the ship slipped away from Earth, leaving behind a world united in hope, the journey ahead seemed both exciting and daunting. The crew carried not just tools and technology, but the hopes of two species linked by a fragile promise. The vastness of space stretched before them, full of unknown dangers and mysteries yet to be uncovered. Every light year traveled would bring them closer to the Valorian system and closer to a test of their courage, skill, and compassion. The mission was more than a simple act of aid. It was a chance to forge a new bond between two very different worlds. In the silent void of space, the humans prepared themselves for what lay ahead, knowing that their actions would shape not only the future of the Valorians, but also humanity's place in the universe. The story of this unexpected request was just beginning, but already it carried the weight of hope and the promise of great change. After a long journey across the vast emptiness of space, the human rescue fleet finally arrived in the Valorian star system. A place bathed in soft, eerie light from their unstable sun, the approaching ships were met by a delicate formation of Valorian vessels, sleek and shimmering with colors that seemed to shift like liquid. A sign of their advanced but subtle technology, the Valorian leaders, dressed in robes that reflected their culture's harmony with nature, greeted the humans cautiously, but with genuine relief. They had waited anxiously for help, and though they were wary of the unknown, the arrival of Earth's fleet brought hope that their fate might yet be changed. Soon after docking at the largest Valorian orbital station, the human team was invited to meet with the Valorian Council, where the elders laid out the full extent of their crisis. A star, once steady and life-giving, was now Eradicate's energy pulsing unpredictably, and sometimes violently. The natural forces that powered their planetary shields, invisible barriers that protected the planets from harmful solar flares and cosmic radiation, were weakening every day. Without these shields, the planet's fragile ecosystems, home to countless species and delicate environments, were exposed to dangers that could wipe out life. The Valorians spoke with a mixture of sadness and determination, explaining how they had tried everything within their knowledge to stabilize their sun and repair the shields. But all attempts had fallen short. They needed help beyond their technology and understanding. The humans listened carefully, their faces serious but filled with the confidence born of years of hard work and discovery. They immediately began organizing teams to scan the star and planets using their advanced sensors and satellites. Machines hummed as they sent out waves of data, gathering every piece of information about the Valorian system's delicate balance. Human engineers, astrophysicists, and environmental scientists worked side by side with Valorian experts, exchanging knowledge and theories. It quickly became clear that the challenge was immense. The sun's energy was not only unstable but unpredictable, and the damage to the planetary shields had allowed harmful particles to slowly erode the life-protecting atmosphere on some planets. Still, the humans, driven by their natural desire to act boldly, began proposing large-scale solutions. They suggested constructing enormous stabilization devices and orbit machines that could absorb the dangerous energy bursts from the star and convert them into safe, usable power. They designed plans for new shield generators that could cover entire planets, far beyond the reach of any Valorian technology so far. The Valorian scientists watched these plans with a mixture of fascination and caution. The human ideas were grand and impressive, showing creativity and courage, but they also worried about the consequences of such drastic changes. The Valorians' culture valued balance and patience, and they knew that interfering too much with their star's natural processes could cause new, unforeseen problems. Despite these concerns, the Valorian leaders agreed to let the humans begin testing their ideas, seeing no other option to save their home. As the first prototypes were built and launched, the atmosphere on the planets shifted. Valorian citizens watched from their homes as strange new structures appeared in their skies, gigantic arrays of panels, towers, and energy converters. Some were excited by the promise of a new future, while others feared that the changes were too sudden and too vast. The humans worked tirelessly, often through the long Valorian nights, driven by a sense of urgency and the belief that big actions were necessary to match the scale of the crisis. Yet, even among the human team, some began to notice the strain. The fast pace left little time for reflection or detailed study of the subtle effects their machines might have. Cultural misunderstandings also arose as the humans' straightforward manner sometimes clashed with the Valorians' more measured and thoughtful approach to change. Slowly, a fragile trust began to build between the two species, strengthened by small acts of kindness and shared moments of discovery. A human scientist and a Valorian environmentalist, for example, worked late one evening to monitor the effects of the new shield generators on local plant life, learning from each other's knowledge and finding ways to adjust the technology to better fit the ecosystem's needs. Still, the tension lingered. The Valorian elders held secret meetings, debating how much control they should allow humans to have over their world's fate. Meanwhile, some human engineers, eager to prove their worth, pushed for bigger, faster deployments, sometimes overlooking warnings from their Valorian colleagues. The delicate balance between hope and caution defined every step of the mission, creating an atmosphere charged with excitement, but also anxiety. Each new test brought a mix of success and uncertainty, and the entire star system seemed to hold its breath as the humans' bold plans unfolded. As days turned into weeks, the humans and Valorians both realized that saving a star system was not just a technical challenge, but a lesson in cooperation, respect, and patience. The mission that began with a desperate plea had become a complex dance of ideas and cultures, where every decision mattered deeply. The question remained, would human determination, combined with Valorian wisdom, be enough to turn the tide and restore balance to a star on the brink of collapse? The answer was still unknown, and the journey ahead promised new surprises and challenges. But one thing was clear: this mission was unlike any humanity had faced before, and the fate of two civilizations now depended on their ability to work together under the most extraordinary circumstances. The human engineers wasted no time in putting their plans into action, bringing with them a spirit of boundless energy and a firm belief that no challenge was too great to overcome. They began constructing vast star stabilization devices in orbit around the Valorian sun. Massive machines designed to absorb and redirect the dangerous energy pulses that had been threatening the system's fragile balance. Alongside these, teams worked tirelessly to deploy new planetary shield enhancers, technology far more advanced and powerful than anything the Valorians had ever imagined or attempted. These enhancers were meant to reinforce the weakening protective barriers around the planets, creating a new layer of safety that could withstand the unpredictable solar storms. To the Valorians, the sheer scale and speed of these human projects were both awe-inspiring and unsettling. Their own culture had always valued patience, careful thought, and respect for natural cycles, where changes were made slowly and with great attention to the smallest details. In contrast, the humans pushed forward with non-stop work schedules, often operating day and night without pause, driven by their determination to fix the crisis as quickly as possible. This relentless pace sometimes caused friction with their Valorian counterparts, worried that rushing such immense interventions could upset the delicate planetary ecosystems they had worked so long to preserve. The Valorian elders met frequently to discuss these concerns, debating how to balance the humans' impressive capabilities with the need to protect their home's natural harmony. While the machines began to take shape in orbit and on planetary surfaces, the humans' enthusiasm brought more than just technology to the Valorian worlds. Many crew members sought out opportunities to learn from the locals, eager to understand the culture they had come to help. In quiet moments away from their demanding tasks, human scientists and engineers visited Valorian communities, joining in their rituals and listening to stories passed down through generations. These exchanges planted seeds of friendship and mutual respect, softening the edges of the stressful mission. One human engineer, fascinated by the Valorian connection to their environment, began working closely with local environmentalists to ensure that the new technology would support, rather than harm, the delicate balance of flora and fauna. Human diplomat learned the importance of Valorian customs related to communication and decision-making, adopting a slower, more deliberate approach when working with the elders. Despite these growing bonds, the sheer scale of the human operation sometimes created unintended consequences. The rapid construction and deployment of star stabilizers altered subtle energy flows around the planets, leading to shifts in weather, patterns that puzzled Valorian scientists. Some native species behaved strangely, reacting to changes in their environment that the humans had not predicted. These issues raised new worries about the long-term impact of the mission and reminded everyone involved that even the most well-intentioned actions could carry risks. Tensions surfaced occasionally, especially when human engineers pushed for even larger projects, driven by the belief that bolder solutions were needed to solve such an urgent crisis. Valorian advisors urged caution, emphasizing the importance of observing and understanding before making further changes. The humans listened, but found it difficult to slow down, Their culture celebrated bold innovation and fast results, traits that had served them well on Earth, but now required adjustment. Yet through these challenges, a unique partnership began to form, built on learning and compromise. The Valorians began to appreciate the humans' relentless drive and technical genius, while the humans grew to respect the Valorians' wisdom, patience, and deep connection to their world. Together, they refined their approach, blending rapid innovation with careful observation, adjusting their technologies to better fit the needs of the Valorian ecosystem and society. As the new stabilization devices and shield enhancers began their work, subtle improvements appeared. The sun's erratic energy pulses became less frequent, and planetary environments showed signs of recovery. Valorian children could once again play safely outside under skies that no longer shimmered with dangerous radiation. The mission was far from over, but these early successes brought renewed hope and a stronger sense of unity between the two species. Still, the future held uncertainties. Both humans and Valorians knew that taming a star was a task filled with unknowns, and every step forward had to be taken with care. The story unfolding in this distant star system was no longer just about technology or survival. It was a profound example of how different cultures could come together, combining their strengths and learning from their differences to face challenges greater than any one species could handle alone. The mission's outcome remained a mystery, but for now, the overzealous innovation of the humans was tempered by the gentle guidance of the Valorians, creating a balance between boldness and caution that might just be the key to saving a star and the lives it nurtured. As the new human technology began to hum to life, sending carefully controlled waves of energy into the Valorian star, a sense of hope and accomplishment spread through the teams working on the mission. The vast star stabilization devices, built with a mix of human daring and Valorian expertise, were designed to steady the sun's violent pulses and reduce the threat they posed to the fragile planets orbiting it. Initially, the results seemed promising. The most intense bursts of energy appeared to lessen, and sensors reported a small but noticeable improvement in the star's behavior. However, as the days passed, subtle but unexpected changes began to ripple through the Valorian system. On some planets, weather patterns shifted in unusual ways. Winds altered their usual paths. Storms formed in places that had never seen such weather before, and temperatures fluctuated more than anyone had anticipated. These mild but strange changes caught the attention of Valorian environmentalists, who had spent their lives studying the delicate ecosystems of their homeworlds. They raised alarms about the potential consequences of such disruptions, warning that even small changes could have far-reaching effects on the plants, animals, and overall balance of life. Adding to the concern, certain native species began behaving oddly. Creatures that once followed predictable routines started to act unpredictably. Some avoided areas they had always inhabited, while others displayed new behaviors that puzzled scientists. The Valorians feared that these signs might indicate deeper disturbances in the planetary environments, possibly triggered by the human technology altering the star's natural energy output. Faced with these worrying developments, the human engineers and scientists quickly realized that their bold efforts had overlooked some critical details. They had focused so much on the big picture, stabilizing a dying star and protecting entire planets, that they had not fully anticipated the smaller, more subtle effects their technology might have on the living world. The humans, known for their confidence and willingness to take risks, felt a humbling moment wash over them as they acknowledged that their approach needed adjustment. This realization sparked a renewed urgency to work even more closely with their Valorian counterparts. Teams of human and Valorian scientists began meeting more frequently, sharing data, observations, and theories to better understand the unexpected consequences. Together, they pored over streams of information from sensors, satellite images, and field reports, piecing together the complex ways in which the star's energy interacted with planetary environments. Valorian ecologists explained the intricate relationships between species and the delicate balances that had existed for millennia. Humans offered their expertise in technology and data analysis, applying their skills to model the changes and predict future impacts. Slowly, A new collaborative approach emerged, one that blended human innovation with Valerian wisdom and patience. Instead of rushing ahead with large-scale interventions, the teams began to implement smaller, carefully tested adjustments to the stabilization devices and shield enhancers. They designed experiments to observe effects in controlled environments before applying changes on a system-wide scale. Communication between the two species deepened, with humans learning to value the Valorians' measured and respectful way of approaching change. The Valorians, in turn, embraced some of the humans' enthusiasm and problem-solving energy. Finding ways to balance their traditions with new ideas, this partnership not only improved the technology's performance, but also strengthened the trust between humans and Valorians, turning what had been a mission marked by urgency and tension into one of shared purpose and understanding. As weeks passed, the subtle shifts in weather began to stabilize, and native species slowly returned to more familiar behaviors. The star's energy output, while still unstable, showed signs of settling into a more predictable pattern. Combined, efforts of humans and Valorians seemed to be making a real difference. This turning point was a powerful lesson for the humans. They learned that their natural tendency to act boldly and quickly, while valuable in many situations, needed to be tempered with careful observation and respect for the complex systems they were trying to help. The Valorians, too, discovered that openness to new approaches and collaboration could bring fresh hope to their ancient challenges. The mission's true success lay not only in the technology, but in the coming together of two very different cultures united by a shared goal and a growing bond of friendship. Yet, despite the progress, both species remained aware that the path ahead was still uncertain. The star's fate was not fully sealed, and the balance of the Valorian system remained fragile. New challenges could arise at any moment, and the delicate trust they had built would be tested in ways they had not yet imagined. For now, however, the humans and Valorians faced the future together, ready to learn, adapt, and continue their extraordinary journey, one that held the promise of saving a star, preserving a civilization, and redefining what it meant to work across worlds for the good of all. In the quiet depths of the Valorian star system, after months of tireless work, endless calculations, shared moments of hope and doubt, a remarkable change took hold. The star's erratic energy finally began to stabilize, its dangerous pulses softening into a gentle rhythm that promised safety for the planets it nurtured. The massive human-built stabilization devices, carefully adjusted with the Valorians' guidance, hummed steadily in orbit, while the enhanced planetary shields shimmered with renewed strength, guarding the ecosystems that had once teetered on the edge of destruction. The air was thick with relief and celebration among both species, a testament to what could be achieved when determination met wisdom and courage was matched with patience. In a grand ceremony held beneath the soft light of their restored star, the Valorian Council publicly expressed their deep gratitude toward humanity. Leaders spoke of the bravery and relentless spirit that had brought Earth's rescue fleet across the stars, but also praised the humility and respect shown as the mission evolved from a bold act into a true partnership. The signing of the historic treaty between humans and Valorians marked a new chapter, one filled with promises of ongoing cooperation, cultural exchange, and mutual learning. This treaty was more than ink on parchment. It was a symbol of trust. Forged in the crucible of crisis, a bridge connecting to very different worlds. The humans preparing to leave, the mission had been more than a test of technology and strength. It was a journey of growth. They returned to Earth carrying stories of alien skies and shimmering cities, of alien friends who had taught them the value of balance and the power of listening. Celebrated as heroes who took the mission seriously, they understood that true success was not about rushing forward, but knowing when to slow down, observe, and adapt. Humanity's reputation as relentless problem solvers had been both confirmed and refined, showing that determination shines brightest when tempered by understanding and respect. The Valorians, too, embraced this new era with hope, eager to explore the knowledge and perspectives humans had brought, and ready to share their own ancient wisdom in return. Together, Two species began envisioning a future where their alliance would extend beyond saving a star toward shared exploration. Science, art, and friendship among the stars. As the human ships lifted off, leaving behind the glowing orbits of stabilization machines and the renewed beauty of Valorian worlds, a sense of possibility filled the air. This mission had shown that even in the vastness of space, where differences could have divided them, cooperation and respect could light the way to survival and growth. The story closed on a hopeful note. In the darkness between stars, humanity's brightest light was not just their courage, but their ability to learn, adapt, and build friendships that would echo through the galaxies for generations to come.